Today we are going to be deciding or discussing about decoding chakras. Are they real? I started off with this my initial understanding about chakra was absolutely zero, and I started with questioning only. Only I could do is question and nothing else. Um, when you start with questioning, and you are genuinely questioning, not trying to belittle anything, just genuinely questioning, then only you get to know the answer. Otherwise, you never know. So this is what the we are used to understanding the lam, the vam, the rang, the yang, and the hang, and the om. These are different, and the ksham. Okay, actually, this is the ksham here, and then the om here. So these chakras, we are this particular figure is very much in every yogic literature, or wherever you see yoga happening. This is the thing that they try to understand. That, of course, these different chakras are they real actually? Once they talk, when they say Muladhara chakra, it is the basic fundamental chakra. Now, if you go into the understanding of the five elements which made this body happen, one is the Muladhara chakra, which is the earth element, right? Or the Prithvi tattva. And then the next one is Jala tattva, which is Svadhisthana chakra. Now, whenever you talk about Jala tattva and Prithvi tattva and all that, so this Prithvi tattva is the one which gives you the sense of smell. This water tattva is that which gives you the concept of elimination or let go in our system. Wherever if somebody is facing extreme constipation or some kind of a not uh, free, essentially not being free to, it is the Swadhisthana chakra that is getting affected. I'll talk to you a little later how the science is trying to prove this. And that is exactly what I was working on in my life for 18 years. I was working on, I without knowing that I was working on chakras, I was working on chakras because I was basically working on the central nervous system development, and that starts with the neural tube. Neural tube development starts with just like a plain sheet of cells, right? Like this plain sheet of cells, and then they roll like that. They roll like this, and when they touch each other, that's how they start to close. And over at the anterior end, when it grows and grows, it forms a brain, and at the posterior end, it forms a neural tube, which basically is the spinal cord. This is what I was working on, and at small, if you cut the spinal cord into small areas and try to do the gene mapping and gene analysis of it all, that is what I was trying to do. So anyway, so I'll just go with that flow afterward after a few seconds. Manipura chakra is the Agni tattva. That's where the digestion happens. The real digestion happens when you have this Manipura chakra in order, right? Because heat is required for and some amount of higher what you call um, temperature. Little higher temperature is required for enzymatic actions, not necessarily at the body level, at the body temperature level. At the body temperature level, they will be active like a very basal level. But if you want a robust activation of those enzymes, you will have to have 1 degree more, maybe 2 degree more temperature in your abdomen. So immediately after eating food, you will feel the abdomen is warm, and that is because of the Manipura chakra, which is the fire element. And of course, air tattva, lungs, heart, all these things are controlled by this air Anahata chakra. Vishuddha chakra is the space element, the sound, the listening, uh, vocal cord, all these is connected by controlled by this chakra, which is simple, which is not natural. So basically, all the chakras are controlling the bodily functions one by one, one by one. So that's what it is. So Agya chakra is there, which controls everything. It is a master. What you call when you say Agya chakra, basically at the level of pituitary gland and pineal gland and all those areas which have the master hormonal control in our body. That's what this chakra is. Plus, not only hormonal control, the temperature control, the digestive control, the respiratory control, all this control is coming from this Agya chakra. And Sahasrara chakra is basically the super conscious, the most higher level, because that is what basically what happens is, if you try to, if you have heard this equation, most, I think 100% of the people in the planet have heard this equation: E equals mc square, right? E is the energy, m is the mass of a particle, and c is the velocity of light. Now, if a, what it says is, if a particle with rest mass m moves with the velocity of light square, then that becomes energy, right? That's Einstein's empirical derivation, or I would say empirical equation that he saw that. His collaborator, Satyan Bose, Dr. Satyan Bose from Bose Institute, back then, long time, he's not now alive, but back then, he said that if we can condense energy, then we can always produce particle. He was basically saying that everything is coming from pure consciousness. Condensation of pure consciousness is basically starting. The first thing that ever happens in condensation of consciousness is the awareness, and then the space element, which means the sound, and of course, various vibration or spandan, they call it in Kashmiri Shaivism, they call it spandan. Spandan of pure consciousness makes sound, and the sound gets the then there is, you must have heard of that, the whole universe is held together by love, and that is exactly what it is, Anahata chakra. And then that whole, whatever that has been created by love, has to be sustained, right? And that is where the Vishnu chakra or the Manipura chakra happens. And then this is the descending of the consciousness gradually into the most uh, tangible tattva, which is the earth element or the prithvi element. And that is exactly what the the making of the universe is all about. Now, chakra means what? Chakra is it is combination of two letters, cha and kra. Cha equals chalan, and kra is karoti, which means chakra means that which enables doing. Chalan is movement, and kra is doing. That is chakra. Chakra does not mean, most of us think that chakra means the Sudarshan chakra that Sri Krishna used in Mahabharata. No, no, no. That's not the thing that we are looking for. And most of us think like, oh, chakra is something round. Not really. Chakra actually means that which enables doing. Doing cannot happen without any expenditure of energy, and that is the reason why this whole area of the so-called chakra in our thinking is basically nothing but energy centers. Because of that energy center, they have the ability to do some stuff, right? So this is exactly what com- complex nervous system is developed, and how is it developed? That is what I was trying to understand this thing was my 18 years of work. I mean, there is a lot of. So let me first uh, make this clear. Bunch of peripheral nerves, bodies form ganglion. So nerves, bunch of nerves collected together, they form ganglion, and when bunch of ganglion collect together, they form plexus. And that is the plexus is what exactly chakra means. Plexus is the neurobiology language of Sanatan Shabd or Sanatan word chakra. So please understand that nerves, bundle of nerves become ganglion, bundle of ganglion become plexus. and plexus is what chakra is. And that chakra means, now plexus obviously has a much higher energy because of one so many nerves, and all the nerves conduct electricity, actual electricity. You can test it with the galvanometer and you'll know that there is a flow of electron and then the flow of nerve conduction, and that's exactly, it is faster than the regular electricity that we see outside without any heat generated. Over here, you'll see from one end to the other end, you will find electricity coming and going with, not with that speed, but this one is like fastest than the five. It is faster than the speed of, I would say, speed of light. Nerve conduction is very very fast. Just now you have a touch on your tip and it registers in your brain instantly. That kind of a, so that is what I was talking to you about. This is how the initial neural plate is there. Then it folds like this. I'll show you one second. Okay. First it is a neural plate like that. The blue thing you can consider as a flat right now like that, and it folds and then it folds and becomes the tube. The anterior part becomes the brain and the posterior part becomes the neural tube or the spinal cord. So there are different ways it folds. Now there are different. Number one thing is it closes here and then it goes the zipper effect both ways, this way and this way both. And then there is another portion where it is open here, but from here it goes, and eventually these they get closed. But this is how the zipper effect happens in the neural tube. And over here both the ways, this is the center here and it goes like that, and also from here into this side. So there are different zone of closure of neural tube. And if you understand these guys, what I did was, or my lab did was, not I, my lab, because contribution has to be shared with everybody. So we isolated these small regions, very tiny. And this was done in mouse brain. So, and of course, using our data, they used on other developing fetus, those who are having miscarriages and all that. Those are the ones that used the data that we used to find, to verify whether that happens in humans also. That was done in UK and different other countries, Japan and UK and all that. So anyway, so when we understood that, there are different ways of neural tube closure. One is this, one is starting from one end and starting another, ending another end. One is starting at one end and starting at the other end, then meeting together. And then there are these different ways. It starts with one and stops here, and another it continues. It's unidirectional here, but it has a small neuropore, they call it. It bypasses that neuropore and again continues. And then there is another one which is starting from this portion and spreads both ways. And then there is another one which comes together. So there are different versions uh, uh, of neural tube closures in the throughout our developing nervous system. Now, the beauty of this is, what we found out was, if we take area, this area where um the neural tube closure is bidirectional, like coming together, right, like this, and in the place of Ajna chakra, so called, where it is both the direction coming together, we saw some very fantastic commonality, that more these cells over here, the developing neural cells were more towards stem cell characteristics, not neuronal characteristics. They were like stem cell characteristics. And the ones which are at the top, the so-called Agya Chakra that we call, is like this, and Heart Chakra. Heart Chakra and Agya Chakra were more differentiated, which means, say, whenever you see um, more towards stem cell characteristics, it is almost like conscious super consciousness. And if you say more towards differentiation, it is basically toward more like particle like. It is getting towards that particle nature. That is exactly. So what you see is the Agya Chakra or the Sahasrara Chakra has those genes which almost are into stems, more towards differentiation over here. And then if you say the chakra just above that, which you call Svadhisthana chakra, Svadhisthana chakra and Vishuddha chakra, they are similar in nature. In the genes committed toward differentiation but not differentiated. So, which means to say that more stem cell then committed towards differentiation but not differentiated, and over here almost at the level of close to differentiation. So these are the difference in the uh, gene profiling when we saw that initially. But how do you interpret that in our energy system and energy relationship is stuff to work on. Nobody knows anything. Only we have hypothesis and some kind of. But how do you go about doing this in human? It is a far, 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 in like another 100 years it will take to get that scientific understanding of it. But our Sanatan Dharma scientists have figured it out in deep meditation, and that's exactly what we will plan to do today. So this is what Vishuddha chakra is eventually when the cervical plexus and the brachial plexus makes the Vishuddha chakra. The Anahata chakra is the intercostal thoracic region. Manipura chakra is vertebral, lumbar vertebra, and one lumbar plexus is Manipura chakra, and sacral plexus is Svadhisthana chakra, and coccygeal plexus is the Muladhara chakra. These are the different chakras over here. Okay. Now you will like to know whether there is a really chakra. No, there is no chakra like that, but this is how it is assembled together. Now you can form the there are some electronic engineers in MIT who have figured out the way of to how to do these these things. So how one interacts with another one and how the other interacts with another one and how they send the signal all over. This is what they have been talking about. This is like this is like 20 years of work that they have done on different areas in the cervical plexus itself. This, and they come up with this kind of a beautiful diagram. And this is another one, brachial plexus, which is basically, and now this is brachial plexus intercostal nerve. So these are the different nerves that you see that. And then this is lumbar plexus, and lumbar plexus is basically Manipura chakra. And this is exactly the now that is on the neural on the spinal cord, right? This all that we discussed was spinal cord, and then there is an additional complexity into the Manipura chakra. Manipura chakra is much more complex than lumbar vertebra alone, abdominal plexus. It is far complex, and that's why if they say that if you can mm, activate your Manipura chakra to the best of its ability, you don't have to worry about activating any other chakra. Everything is taken care of by that. Because this Manipura chakra can activate the rest of the entire nervous system, including the brain. And that's why this Manipura chakra is called the second brain. We'll discuss that little later. There is a sacral plexus, and then coccygeal plexus. The sacral plexus is basically Svadhisthana chakra. And how this is how it is regulating the kidney functions and the urinary bladder functions and all that stuff, it is far deeper and how the kidney function eventually affects the ionic the banded balances and the temperature control and all that stuff, and how it is connected to the brain area. It is far more complex neuroscience, which I am not going to discuss too much on right now. So yes, chakras are real and they go by the name plexus in neurobiology. Now next time what we'll do is much more um, how our Sanatan Sanskriti has understood this thing in the light of in the current light of neurobiology. That's what we'll talk about next time. Okay, so that's that is how I will end the talk.